I'm good.
Got him.
Yeah, you got me.
Hey guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and let us know in the comments what you think about our videos. And if there's anything you want to see us talk about, then please let us know.
Hey YouTube, this is Jeff again with another quick tutorial. This time we're going to be doing some molds with EasyFlo liquid plastic. It's a two-part plastic that we get from Brick in the Yard mold supply. We're also going to be coloring it. In this first part we're going to be using black polycolor. We may get some more colors here in just a minute just to show you some of the different things that we can do with it. We've got some different molds that you can acquire from just about anywhere. This is a Walking Dead mold that we have. Some of these are Star Wars, and you'll see how they come out here in just a minute. This is a very easy, for the most part, tutorial. It's a very easy thing to do when you have all the pieces. The only thing you have to remember is when you're doing this, you have to work fast. And this stuff does get hot when it reacts. And the faster it reacts, the hotter it gets. This stuff here is a little slower. If you get this stuff through Brick in the Yard mold supply like we do, these cost about $100 a gallon. And you can make, I can't tell you how many pieces out of these little molds that we get. You can find these molds just about anywhere. And Halloween time especially, all of the custom molds come out with like the spiders and skulls and all that stuff. And you can use those to make ice cubes or these liquid plastic pieces or whatever you want to do. I don't suggest you do this unless you're looking at wanting to buy and sell a whole bunch of these, because this will make a whole lot of molds. Anyway, this is a 1-to-1 ratio. So what we're going to do first, I like to shake them up first before we get started. I want to make sure I keep my containers separate. I got one marked for part B, and we got one over here for part A. And this is 1-to-1, so again, you put however much you put in this one of part B, you're going to put the same amount in part A over here. Just make sure you keep your cups separate. And we do a little at a time because you only get a little bit of working time with these. I will show you this. The last pour I was doing, I was trying to get as much out of the cup as I could, and the plastic set up as I was pouring. So I got this long line here. It was just like hanging from the mold to the cup like that. That just gives you an idea of how fast this stuff reacts. Same amount of part A. Yeah, part A. These cups you can get at like a hardware store, something. They come in really handy. You don't want to mix your polycolor in with it because then you won't be able to see through it to tell how much you've got in here. But they come in really handy when it comes to measuring stuff out. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've got a separate cup here for mixing my polycolor. I try to keep them separate as much as possible until I am ready, 100% ready to mix the two parts together and start pouring. Now this says, I believe on the bottle it says 2 to 2.5 minute pour time. I'm going to suggest you take that as 2 to 2.5 minutes at the most. You don't have to. You can lollygag if you want to, but that's up to you. But you may end up with a cup full of plastic. I'm just going to put a little black polycolor in there. You may want to use gloves because I didn't and I'm stupid, so I'm going to have black all over my hands now.
Dee-dee-dee.
So, alright, once we get to this part, yeah, he's got black on his hands too. Scott's running the camera.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mix these up just a little bit, get polycolor where we want it. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour it. This is my mixing cup, my actual mixing cup that I use. This way I can kind of keep them separated until I'm ready. Alright, when you are ready, pour your part A. Start mixing.
The clock, she is a ticking.
Oh yeah. Now this stuff here, like I say, it doesn't react near as fast as some of the stuff you can buy in the box stores, the hobby stores. You get the 2-part acrylic that's in there. Yeah, that stuff reacts really, really fast. Okay, to give you an idea, this is already starting to warm up in my hand. If it's warming up, it means it's already reacting. I'm going to start pouring. Whoop.
I wouldn't necessarily worry about the arms and the legs on that one, Jeff. Just get the torso of the head, and you can go with that carbonate. Because I got plenty of arms and legs right now.
Ooh. No, overfilled that one. Big one. So we've been waiting now for about 10 minutes. These pieces are still kind of warm to the touch, but I mean they're not going to burn you, but you know, just keep in mind when you go to handle these that they are going to still be a little warm. I'm going to pop one of these out. There you go. This is Han Solo frozen in carbonite. The movie's coming out here soon. Although he won't be frozen in carbonite when he's in the new movie. You may have to trim some of the flashing off on the outside if you get a little bit, but you won't have to trim much. Usually you can just pop them out and they're good to go. Just like that. Doing the same thing, except this time I'm pouring a little more because we're getting ready to pour a Death Star, which is a brand new mold. We have, you know, you can guesstimate about how much plastic it's going to take to do this, but until we do it a time or two, we're not going to be 100% on how much it's going to take to do these. So I've got a couple of molds laying around just to make sure that if I have too much, that I can still be able to pour the plastic out somewhere besides leaving it in the cup and letting it just get hard and go to waste. Same procedure. I'm going to pour this out of this one cup and put it into this other one. You have to try to scrape it out really well because you run the risk of losing a little bit of your chemical. It is a chemical in the cup, trying to transfer it back and forth between one cup and another. So you want to try to get as much of the different parts out as you can within reason. The larger amounts you use, the less problem it becomes because you lose a smaller ratio if you leave it in the cup, but we're not working with large amounts here, so a little bit of black, Stir it in. Black polycolor, if I didn't already say it, is also available through Brick in the Yard. You can find it at www.brickintheyard.com. But again, I'll also throw out there that this is not something that's really ideal for somebody that just wants one or two. If you just want one or two things, you're better off to find somebody that makes them, like us, and buy them, rather than spend $100 for a gallon plus however much for the polycolors and however much for the mold. And
Polycolor's about $10 though.
yeah, $10
for a little bitty bottle.
Little bitty bottle. Doesn't take much, but little bitty bottle. Plus the molds and all that other stuff. This is really only ideal for the people that want to make large quantities of them. But if you really want to, and it's something you want to do, or you have a mold, say for example that you picked up somewhere that you really like, and it came out, you know, you like how the whatever your poles are, be it ice cubes or whatever, you like how they come out, and you want to have a more permanent pole from it, you can go to a box store and get some acrylic or something like that. Just keep in mind, this stuff reacts really quick. You have to work fast when you start mixing them together. All right, here goes nothing. We've never used these molds before, so we have no idea what's going to happen here.
I'd probably put that mold in the middle of that box.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Now I will say that mold right there you're about to pour the Death Star has some negative reviews of liquid.
It has a negative, yeah. The Death Star mold has some negative reviews because it says supposedly they leak. It leaks really bad. So we're about to find out. We have not used this before. Oop. Don't have much. Let's do this. Wait another 10 minutes.
About 7 or 8 minutes.
All right.
I mean, I figure it's done.
We're gonna try and open this and see what it looks like. I do know it's gonna have to have some trimming done because we're gonna have to trim that off a little bit. But so we're gonna have problems opening it.
You can't get your fingernail in there.
No.
Let me see that.
This. Very not bad. Not done trimming it up. That's what it looks like. It's our first pull out of our Death Star mold. Originally marketed as a ice cube maker, ice cube mold, and we picked it up online.
A lot of negative reviews on it.
A lot of negative reviews on it, but you know what? For making plastic Death Stars out of it, we will have to take a Dremel and take the bottom where the pour port spout is. We'll have to take that off and smooth it over, but that won't take just a second to do. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I think it came out really well. I think it'll look even better if you decide you want to paint on it or something like that, and put the black on in between the lines and that sort of thing. I will tell you, it was hot handling it because the plastic was reacting and everything, but nonetheless, pretty cool. I don't pull these molds all the way.
I don't either.
Probably want a fresh mixing cup too. Wow, that's hot! I thought the Death Star was hot. Holy crap! Oh, that's cool. Yeah! Also, Scott brought up a good point, something that I hadn't said or talked about. If you want a darker color on your whatever your pulls are, then just add a little more polycolor, but you want to make sure that the amount of polycolor you put in is not greater than 2% of the amount of product you're using, because if it does, then you're going to start causing problems with the reaction and setup, and it's going to affect the stability of your pieces that you're pulling out. So anyway, you can kind of get an idea of what you can do with these. We've used 2 or 3 molds. A couple of them we've never used before, and we got some decent results out of them. I will point out that during this video we've sat here and we've talked and explained and kind of goofed off a little bit. We weren't in any real hurry, and you can see all of this stuff that we've got laying in front of me that we made just in a matter of a few minutes, maybe an hour, I guess, just talking about what we do and how we do it and making molds. And you can take a look beside me and see just how much or how little EasyFlo 60 liquid plastic we've used. So if that doesn't give you an idea of just how much stuff you can make with these 1 gallon kits, it ought to give you a pretty good idea that you can make lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. So if you are interested in just 1 or 2 things, you're better off to find somebody like us. And it doesn't have to be us. We'd love for it to be us, but it doesn't have to be us. And just buy the 1 or 2 things that you want, rather than go to all the trouble of inexpensive buying all of the material that it takes. But if you're wanting to get into it and it's something you want to do, then more power to you. Just go to the Brick in the Yard mold supply and order your EasyFlo 60 liquid plastic and find you some molds and have at it. There is a market out there for this. You can get polycolor and change the colors of the molds that you're pulling. You can do just about anything. We do a lot of horror stuff, but there's no telling how many different molds you can find, silicone molds that are out there that you can get online or through other people that make molds or what have you. Or you can even, if you want to go to extremes, you can make your own mold and pour silicone around it and make your own mold and be able to pull your own stuff that you make yourself. So anyway,
you can show them when you go.
if you want to go to the level that, or say there's something in particular that you want and can't find anything else of, you can sculpt out your own mold and pour silicone and make your own silicone mold. Again, this is a very, very expensive way to go, but if you're going to make a whole bunch of them, it might be worth it. And we sculpted out and made our own version of Dart from Stranger Things. Kind of see him, and we pour these every so often. But this is another route you can go if that's something you want to do. Very expensive, not exactly practical, but again, it's something you can do if that's what you want to do. So anyway,
that's probably $30 or $40 in silicone in that.
Yeah, it's pretty steep for to just make one thing. I mean, it may be worth it to you. It just it just all depends. Maybe for you, if there's some one thing that you want to make and that's the only way you can make it, well, it may be worth it to you. I don't know. That's your call. But for somebody like us, if we're going to spend $30, $40 in silicone plus material and all of that to make a dart, we're going to make a whole mess of these because we're going to want to sell them. But anyway, you can kind of see what we've made laying here in front of us. We haven't been in any kind of hurry today at all. We've talked and kidded around during the time when we were waiting for stuff to set up. We weren't really making anything more than what we already had set out in front of us. We just let it set up and wait for it to harden up so we could pull it out and continue making our video. And you see what we've got laying here, and maybe we've worked for
About
45 minutes. You can see all of this stuff that we've got over here, and we haven't hardly used any product at all. EasyFlo 60 liquid plastic. It's 2-part, available by online through Brick in the Yard mold supply. Anybody can get it if you want to.
Something that they could do, Jeff, they could actually make a mold out of Play-Doh also, and do an impression of whatever they want in Play-Doh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted to cut some of the time down, I mean, you could tell them that, but the detail's going to be green.
Iffy, yeah. But you can do something like that if you really wanted to. You can make a mold out of Play-Doh or something, and it would work for 1 or 2 pulls. It does work for 1 or 2 pulls. You can use oil-based clay and carve out your or sculpt out your whatever you want, and then use the plastic to make a mold of that, and then you can do whatever you want to with that. So you do have some options with it, but as a general rule, you really have to weigh what you're wanting to do with what how many you're wanting to have and how much it's going to cost and that sort of thing. But at any rate, there it is. Very useful, very versatile. It picks up a lot of detail, especially when you have a decent mold. So it is something that you can work with. You can paint these. You can. Of course, the polycolor helps too. So there you have it. EasyFlo 60 liquid plastic. We'll be coming at you soon, real soon, with another video. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe. If there's something you want to see us talk about or something you want to see us do, then let us know. And we'll be coming at you later.
Thanks for watching Scared City production videos, and make sure you subscribe to our channel.